fancy friends from gloomy Pennsylvania. It's I, Amy Joy, your host.
Welcome to Nature and Nurture.
In today's video, I wanted to walk through a few plants that I'm excited to see grow and develop in 2023. Toward the end of 2022, my plant collection was kind of coming into maturity. I'd say about a year. A lot of plants were about a year old, and everything was starting to grow up. And I started to realize that, well, actually, I didn't really realize it, but as a plant parent and like kind of always taking on new plants and stuff like that, I started to see a few that were like, this reminded me of, I guess, 2020. When in 2020, I initially kind of started my collecting. A lot of the plants were really high and expensive, so you would buy like just a node or like a single cutting, etc., so that you wouldn't have to pay the exorbitant like triple-digit prices for a plant, right? So as time has gone on from those initial purchases, they have began to grow up, and I just recently started to like expand like the exoticism of my collection, if that's a word. And I've started to step into new realms of different styles of plants because my plant parent confidence has grown. I'm no longer afraid to take on like expensive purchases. I've bought a couple of triple-digit purchases and had them fail on me. but I've started coming to realize that those plants and the growing of those plants is not beyond my limitations or abilities as a plant parent. And so I'm excited to like expand my collection, and I've done some, I guess, importing, but yes and no, like not really on a major scale. I think I bought a few imports last spring of 2022, and I've also just this past December of 2022 went to Equigenera's actual facility in Apopka, Florida. And I am really excited, and I recognize that I can do it. I can do anything I put my mind to. I've learned how to take care of these plants. I've learned how to survive these plants. I've learned how to grow them large and start off with large cuttings, etc., or plants or whatever. So anyhow, all that to say, at the end of 2022, this wasn't really intentional, but like I ended up buying a couple of smaller plants, and I'm excited to see them grow in 2023. And so you'll see some of those in today's video, and you'll also see some other plants that I'm just excited to see grow and like get them to be where I want them to be. So yeah, today's video consists of about 13, a baker's dozen. And I'm excited to share them with you. So without any further ado, let's get started on this list. They're not in any really particular order. I tried to group some that have kind of similar like reasons why I want to grow them. There's really no order. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this baby here. Yes. What is she? She is looking sad. So she is none other than a Monstera deliciosa Thai constellation. Yay! All right, so this is the second time that I have tried to put a variegated Monstera in my collection. The first time I bought a single leaf cutting from a seller that actually, when I went back to look at her page, she had terrible reviews, and my experience with her was no different. And so when I received that cutting, it immediately rotted on me. Like the roots were already kind of bacteria like exposed, and it was on a decline. And I tried to do it, but it didn't work. So it just rotted on me. And then this one here is another from another seller, and the first one was a Albo, right? And then so this one's Tycon. I said, let me try Tycon. It's more stable variegation. Will it be a more stable plant? And of course, this is a baby plant, so those are always kind of like, you never know, iffy, if they might fail. But I have raised another Monstera deliciosa from this size, and actually probably a little bit smaller, and it's not variegated, and it's thriving, it's doing phenomenally well. I actually grew it up in leca, and so it's totally acclimated to that. It loves, I don't know, it looks like the water roots, or I guess the water roots are thriving. They're just white and beautiful and everything. So for this particular baby plant, when I first got it, I did try to put it in leca, but it was like, no go, no bueno, and it like started to rot. I got stem rot, so I don't know if the leca was too high or what. So, but I got nervous, and I quickly repotted it over to a kind of like soil mixture. It's a chunky mixture, chunky overwet mix. There's definitely some, what do you call this? Orchid bark in there. Some, you can see the sphagnum moss on top. I don't think there's that much sphagnum moss. I think it's more toward the top. But it looks like some chunky perlite, some leca, and to be honest, I have no idea everything that's in here. It might be soil. I just don't remember what I put in here. But I do remember that I think I put some of the macrorrhiza fungal support in here to inoculate. So basically, that word inoculate, like, I don't like it because I've tried to define it on Alexa and she won't really give me a clear definition. But to the best of my knowledge, it basically means like you're going to kind of like give medicine to, but it's like giving a shot, like a booster shot. So you're defending it from infection. So that's what I did that, and it also helps to grow a really strong network of roots. And that's what I wanted to do for this one. This one did have a pretty decent root system when I purchased it. And yeah, it had a pretty decent root system. And it actually had 3 leaves when I purchased it. And so 2 of those leaves have died. And then we have a new little baby 4th one coming in. So I think that overall, me switching it over from leca to this mix, I think that I did it in the right amount of time. I think that it is not going to die. I hope, pray to God and knock on wood. And it looks like it's like this leaf is trying to unfurl. So I am super excited to see what this does in 2023. Right now I have this growing in my newly constructed Millsbo tall cabinet. Have Merry Christmas to me. And it's only been like together for like less than a week, probably like 3 or 4 days. And I hope it's living its best life in there. It does. I think that this little leaf has made progress since putting it in there. And again, I'm just so excited to see this one grow up in 2023. And I pray that it stays with me. I pray I don't overwater it. And I think that the chunky mix is pretty chunky, so hopefully it won't get that overwatered. And I also, just to set it up for success, I watered it with Super Thrive and a little bit of HB 101. And so we're just now watching and waiting and hoping this little floppy leaf will come back to thriving. But if not, that's okay. But just as long as there's some other leaves going on. So that's my Tycon. Super excited to see it grow. Cheers to the Tycon. Okay, next up is another one that I kind of grouped next to that one because I have some issues and challenges with this one as well. So this one is a Syngonium. I believe the full name is Syngonium macrophyllum frosted heart. I think the macrophyllum goes in there, but I don't know 100%. So you guys let me know. But I'll fact check it and put it on the screen, and so share it with those who don't know and don't read comments. So, but anyhow, this is the Syngonium. It's a heart-shaped leaf, which is a lot different from the more traditional, like arrowhead-shaped leaf Syngoniums, which there's an example of back here. This one's just one that I keep here on this little converted dresser, and the reason being is because Syngoniums are great low light interior type of house plants. This dresser is not really close to a window. There is a window right over there, but it's east facing, and we're about 4 to 5 feet away from it, so it's not getting a ton of light, but it works, right? So anyhow, this one, and none of these plants live here except for that Syngonium, and I have a Raven ZZ and some kind of little ornamental tree as well. But I digress. Back on track. That being said, this is my Syngonium frosted heart. I'm super excited to see this one grow in 2023, and some of the reasons why are because I love this plant from the very initial moment that I saw it on, I think it was Instagram, someone's account. It was so beautiful, had the big beautiful brown heart-shaped leaves, and the frostiness, like that so many people like, I guess, love like a good mint plant would be kind of frosty like that, but this is kind of frosty in a different way. Now these ones haven't gotten that much frost. I don't know, I'm not sure in what ways light plays like an effect on the frostiness. Let me know if you know, please comment below. But anyhow, so when I got this one, it seems like it might have like some kind of a weird genetic like disability. This plant it was killing itself. So I got it was planted in soil. I sat in the window, observed it, let it try and grow, and it was starting to kill itself. How and why? Well, this is what's happening. This Syngonium has aerial roots, but they might have been like root roots, and they might have been root roots that were trying to basically give the plant a better chance of surviving, because unbeknownst to me, the root roots that were already established weren't so hot, but I didn't know that yet. So it was in dirt, couldn't see that. So what I was observing was that a petiole would grow, right, and you'd have a leaf. And then above that petiole would grow a root from the stem. And the root would go down through the petiole and then like go down to the soil, or try to anyway. And so I noticed that behavior was happening like consistently. Every petiole, the two lowest ones, had roots going through them, trying to get down to the soil. I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck is up with this? This is weird behavior. So then I'm thinking to myself, well, let me dig this up, see what the heck is going on. Like, I don't know, like it wasn't really, I can't remember. I think it wasn't really performing, wasn't really doing anything, wasn't, like growing. So I dug it up and I looked at the roots, and the roots were only like main roots. There were no branching, no secondary, tertiary, none of those roots going on. It was just single, like big, kind of like sort of medium, biggish roots, right? So I'm like, well, this is weird and this is odd and I don't get it. And these, and then the other roots were like, I don't know, just like killing the petioles. So I'm like, something's got to happen here. I think this plant wants to grow new roots. So I took it out of the soil and I put it in water. Now, normally I'm really scared because of like that Monstera that rotted on me. I'm really scared to put things in water sometimes. And I'm maturing as a plant parent and learning how to like rehab and grow new roots and stuff like that. So this was the first time that I had to like reroot a plant. And so what I did was, like I said, I put it in water, but Syngoniums for me Like, I have definitely rooted these in water a couple of times, just like cuttings. And I'm not really as scared about rerooting a Syngonium. And I felt that this was going to be the best chance that this plant had to grow because I really loved it, didn't want to lose it. I actually got it for a great price because of that weird genetic mutation. And let me know also if you've seen this on your Syngoniums, because I'm not sure if it's an actual genetic mutation and would be just like, it would be just common to mine, or if it happens a lot with Syngoniums. So I have experience in that. Let me know if you know anything, if you've experienced that before. But so yeah, I wasn't too nervous about putting Syngonium in water because I'd done before and the roots grow pretty good. So I did that. I had it in water for, I don't know, a couple of months. It finally brought some roots, and those roots finally, I was waiting, like the roots were pretty long, the main stems of the roots. They're about 4 inches long, but I was waiting for it to branch off and get some tertiary roots. And so it finally kind of did. And what I also realized, like I said, I wasn't sure if these upper roots were trying to establish like better roots than the downstream roots. So I ended up putting it on moss pole to give them access to find moisture without going through the petioles so that it can survive better. So yes, we're anxious and excited to see what happens with this plant here in the new year. And we put it on the moss pole. I'm really excited. I've started to, these are some lazy moss poles. I actually have this leftover, I guess it's vinyl or plastic, from like a cabinet that I returned, and I just kept the plastic out of it. So, and created these lazy moss poles, and it's perfect. So, yay, excited for that one. That was a long explanation. I know, I'm sorry. Let's try to get this thing moving along a little bit faster. So, along the same lines, I'm really excited to see, because I just started doing moss poles this year also. I'd say maybe like closer towards the spring, because I had a Camposporal annum that I wanted to mature up, and it actually has. It has like the 3-lobe leaves, and it's growing crazy. I actually just extended this moss pole, but that's not the topic of this conversation. So yeah. Okay, cool. I extended this moss pole, and that's going great. But so then I've started expanding all the plants that I'm giving moss poles to this year. And so these two are no different. The next upcoming two, and we'll talk about this Amidrium medium silver, no other, the number one only. All right, so Amidrium medium silver. Yay, this is the first Amidrium I've ever had in my collection. I'm not very interested in the Zippolinum, but this one is so cute. I saw this one, a nice, well-established, big plant on Wild Fern's channel. Hey, shout out to you, Wild Fern. And it was doing phenomenal, has huge leaves. Oh my gosh, there's a fungus nut. I am so, is it? Oh, I don't know what that was. All right, so I'm over the fungus gnats, and of course the moss poles are kind of like drawing them in, but I'm using mosquito bits here and there, so I'll have to wear this with mosquito bits as soon as it's dry. But anyhow, so this guy, look at it, yeah, we've got like roots coming out the bottom. I mean, it's not necessarily great, but it's good because I didn't think this was doing anything. This is how it came to me. This is what it looked like when it came to me, and I was just like, what the hell? It's not doing anything, but check it out. You can see that little leaf coming out there, right there, trying to emerge. So I'm excited for that. And I put this on the moss pole because I don't want it to send out runners. I've seen lots of these be very notorious for sending out runners, long runners, and then you have to cut them and chop them and stuff like that so they look cute. And so I knew to right away put it on a moss pole. I wanted to root into the pole. I wanted to mature and climb and grow. And so no runners. And it looks like we're doing a good job here because we're getting new growth, not so high up, not so much runnery. And yeah, really excited to see this bad boy grow. It's got the bluish tint, which is called silver in the plant world. Yay, excited for that one. And we'll talk about we have 2 more moss poles, but we'll talk about one other moss pole that I put on the moss pole the same time I put this one on the pole. And that is none other than my, guess what it is, you know? It's such a juvenile form, you might not know, but check out the wavy leaves. That's kind of a hint. Alright, so this one, if you hadn't guessed it already, is a Monstera. Which one? It is the Monstera acogoyensis. I hope I said it right. Acogoyensis, whatever. So this is, I'm really excited to see. I'll put a beautiful photo of the mature specimen here on the screen. And once I saw this, I just was like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. Because, actually, no, I researched this one. This was another one. I can't say that I was influenced to buy this one and the Amidrium, but I saw them on other creators' channels, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I gotta have it. They weren't featuring them or being like, oh, I love this plant so much. Well, Fern kind of was, but when I saw them, I just fell in love with them. They're so beautiful. So that's kind of really how we learn, I think, as plant growers or plant tubers about new plants that we've not been exposed to before. Is either we're browsing on the website or we're seeing it somewhere in the media, right? So whether it's another plant tuber or I don't know, a plant journal, who knows? So I saw this one on, shout out to Kaylee Ellen. I saw this on her channel, and I saw the mature form. And she didn't talk about it at all. She was actually doing a plant tour and skipped it. And so it was a big, beautiful, mature form, and I screenshotted it, and I took it over to Google, and I did all my searches, and I finally found one that I thought was it. And then, but it was like thousands and thousands of dollars. And I don't know, I think I just kept searching for it, and I finally found a seedling somewhere. So this, it has grown a new leaf, and it's got one that is getting ready to emerge right there. Hopefully you can see it. I can't really see that great on the screen, so I'm assuming you can. And yeah, it's just really lovely. There's that new one, you can see it this way. And this one actually, I believe, has started rooting into the moss. There's no way you'll be able to see that on screen. So, but it will take my word for it. It started rooting into the moss. I'm really excited about that. Monsteras love to climb. They don't want their roots to be wet though, so that's the only tricky part, is like keeping the moss pole wet and then not the feet wet. I did put it in a nice chunky soil, and I think I probably inoculated this one in the Amidrium soil as well. It's, you know, something new that I'm doing, so any like new transfers, and especially ones that I really cherish. Like, I cherish all of them, but like, and especially now in these days, like, the plants I'm buying are not just BS plants, filler plants anymore. Obviously the space becomes limited. I probably have close to 200 or more plants. And yeah, now I'm just trying to be really picky, and I'm actually going to start to get rid of some of them as well. It's going to be a beautifully fenestrated plant when it gets older. It's not so much like the holes in the plant, I guess that's kind of like the fenestration, but it has the it has like the, I don't know, the like the breathable, like feather-like sort of plant leaves. I think last time I looked at it was a while ago, but I believe that's what this one looks like. So that's how it's different from like an esqueleto or a bleepo or something like that. So excited to see this one grow up and mature in 2023. Hopefully we can get those fenestrations going. I would think so. Hopefully by sometime mid-spring we should have something happening, jumping off. So that's the Monstera acogoyensis. Alright, so that's my last mini moss pole. I have another big moss pole, but we'll get to that one in a minute. So I'm just going to take this other one that's really easily accessible, And so far we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4 plants so far. Whoa, we gotta get going. All right. This guy here, everybody, you know what it is. All right, it's the Alocasia macrorrhiza. So what I've been told, I think I watched this on somebody else's channel, is that the green form is the macrorrhiza and that the variegated form is the Frydek. So guys, fact check me, and if I'm right on that, stop calling them all Frydek. Because at first, when I started to research this plant, look for it, somebody called it macrorrhiza, and I don't know, I think I couldn't find it. It was weird. And then I think I figured out finally that the Frydek and macrorrhiza were the same thing, but they aren't the same thing. But anyway, somehow I found it. So here it is. I was really excited to get this plant. I got this one around the springtime. I'm not sure exactly what month, maybe April-ish of 2022. And it had, like, I was so excited because I got such a great specimen, I guess. It has in here 3 stems. So it's like 3 different plants. I was really excited because of the volume, but it was so small. So it took so long. Like, this is actually a larger size leaf than, like, when I got it, I think all of the leaves were about this size. Pretty small. And so, but they had like 9 of them, and I was so excited. I was like, yes. I just wanted to grow up because I wasn't even sure if it was the same plant, because the way that, like, the mature ones just have like kind of a diamond body-ish, sort of, with lobes. And mine wasn't. So, yeah, it's taken a really long time. I don't know. This is one, I haven't experienced this much with Alocasia, but for me, this is the first one that I've experienced where it, like, will grow a new leaf and then the old leaf dies. So I've been having that trouble. And then, of course, right now, the state it's in now is it has it had spider mites as of a few days ago, and I finally treated it. This one I had been walking by. I noticed it earlier on that it had spider mites. I meant to treat it. I didn't. I let some time go by. I still hadn't treated it. And then finally, a couple days ago, I'm like, gosh, this plant is so sad. Like, all the leaves are dying. Oh, shoot, that's right. It has spider mites. So let me go treat it finally. So that's why I left this yellow leaf on here dangling, because it's the last leaf of one of the stems. And I just don't know what to do. I'm hoping that a new leaf will emerge before the whole stem dies. If you have any tips for me about what to do, please let me know. Drop it below. The soil's pretty moist right now. Otherwise, I would definitely fertilize it. I know how alocasias love nutrients and love to be fertilized, so I definitely want to do that. I'll probably add the Super Thrive and HB 101 to this guy here. Hopefully it helps, but I gotta wait for it to dry out a little bit more because we don't want to rot it in the process. No. But I'm excited, hopefully, that this one will recover and grow to be a big, beautiful macrorrhiza. Definitely want to document it at a slow point. All right, so we're looking forward to that. Here we go.
Hey guys, sorry to jump in so abruptly, but it's me, future editing Amy here. And unfortunately, I had a little bit of difficulty uploading this video in its entirety to YouTube. So here's what I've done. I have linked a card for part 2 of this video right here. You can click on that and check it out and jump straight into the next video. And if you like this video, click a thumbs up and like it, and subscribe to my channel if you feel like that we're resonating. Let me know. And leave a comment so far about what you've seen, and tell me what plants that you have, that if you have experienced any of these issues like that, or leave a comment below and tell me if you have any plants like these that you want to see grow in 2023, and I would love to hear from you. Let's look forward to communicating, exchanging, all that good stuff in the next one. So just click this video right here, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.
If you like this video and want to see more like it, please make sure you subscribe to this channel. Hit the notifications button so that you can be informed anytime I post a new video.